your expectation, neither are you in to live up to mine. I don't owe no one, no obligation. No one owes me none, so everything is fine, fine. I said I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Serious business. There is a time for everything, and for everything there is a season. So man and man must reason. So I think it's prime time that we address some more issues. Simple information I will use. No rocket science to get you confused. So relax your mind, make sure everything is fine, while I take you down a poetic line. Trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. I remember you say Liberation Day, and I ask, you sure is that you wanna say? Cause you sounded so good to believe. And deception is a powerful thing when you lose your rightful thinking. So we voted for the bling. But you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Yellow, yellow all the way is what everybody say. Cell phone ring, man answering. Yellow, yellow, no hello. Teeth get yellow, house get yellow, bus get yellow, man get yellow, even green get yellow, and so says 11-4. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. Old school parables say you know what you have, but you don't know what you go get. So cherish what you have to diminish regret. But what on earth lasts forever? Not even things created by the great Jehovah. So the green grass ceased to grow to allow the yellow vibes to flow. But boy, one song I sing, one bell a ring. If we didn't know, we never know yellow would have treated us so. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. They began with the blame game, giving NNP more fame. Past administration, the cause of frustration. Past administration, chief of corruption. Then to economic recession, we can't give you attention. Economic recession, the cause of poverty in the land. Economic recession, no employment for the ordinary man. When you trick us with campaign promises, we won't stay at ease. That's the way it is. We've waited in vain, hoping you'll ease the strain, but you now refrain, you now refrain. All your projects are stuck in a pipeline, but when asked, how is the country going? Oh, fine. We are looking into it. Never mind. Only projects in pipeline. No water to cool down the yellow temperature. When will they start? Please answer that. Oh, soon.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name, Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you. Well, I'm hoping up until 10, but there's a slight possibility we may be going until 9:30 due to certain circumstances. I'm just making sure, yeah? Nice. Letting you all know early, I may have to leave early tonight.
You lose the strain, but you now refrain. Busy governing.
So we're not gonna stick here.
Busy politicking, busy neglecting, busy inflicting poverty and hunger throughout Grenada.
You know what? I think we're gonna change here. Let's play another tune tonight. Let me see if I find a nice one there for you all. Yeah. Let me try a nice local for you all. You understand? Nice. Let me try that one. Let me see if that one go fit.
too heavy, like the change. Each want to kill somebody. There are some fellas that run in the country and like they think really cannot see. When you want them for something, man, this thing they don't tell you. I want to ball, I feel to cry. Sometimes I wonder why. Think about it, I will see you tomorrow. Think about it, I will check you later. Think about it, man, that is the answer. Think about it, they want me break a place. What do I deal with, huh? My country in pain. Oh, yo, yo. Like it's only for people that feel in the pain. Aye, aye, aye. Like it change, that getting bad. Like it change, man now is crying on the double. It change, them youth man getting rebel. There's some fellas that walk in the prison, teaching people to drive for the license. When you want them for something, man, they think they don't tell you. I want to ball. Sometimes I feel to cry. Then I wonder why. Think about it, I will check you tomorrow. Think about it, I will see you later. Think about it, man, that is the answer. Think about it, when we break a place. Oh, yo, yo. Get it?
Yes, indeed, it is talking points, yeah. I'm just making sure I have everything in order as usual. Things bad.
My country in shame. Oh, yo, yo. Poor people cannot stand the pain again. Aye, aye, aye. Like the change, man, it get too bad. Like the change, man, it get too hard. Like the change, then you man really get rebel. Got some fellas inside the police force. Whenever boss man, they have a taxi. When you want them for something, yeah, what the police just tell me. I want to ball. I feel to cry. Sometimes I wonder why. Think about it, I will check you tomorrow. Think about it, I will see you later. Think about it, man, that is the answer. Think about it, you want me to break up places up. Think about it, I will check you tomorrow. Think about it, I will see you later. Think about it, man, that is the answer.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes you have to take a look at break and run a look at tune and think. Nice. And let me see who is on the live tonight. A special good night to you, Alcy, Matthew, Hillary, Kathleen, Angie, Andrea, Winnie, Antonito. Yeah, I'm seeing all of you out there on the YouTube. Let me just refresh the YouTube. Yeah, the YouTube, you see, I refresh, double the numbers. Nice, right? Yeah. So good night to all of you. Tati, I'm seeing you there. Hermina, Oswald, Marilyn, Dave, Jackie. I'm seeing Gavin. I'm seeing you. Listra, Eliza. Sherma. Oh gosh, Sherma. Yes, I'll sort you out later today. Nice. Gertrude. Kathleen. Good night to you. Faithlyn. Good night. Jacinta. Also a good night to you. And Anne Marie. And Gemma Warwood, good night to you. Good life, yeah. Good night to you, whoever you are. A special good night to all of you. And out there on the Facebook, I'm seeing Landon. Dena, good night. Maudlin, Norma, Edlin. Let me see who's there. Cynthia, I'm seeing Gil. Jill, like all them kind of things. So, and Phyllis, Maudlin, Sherry, JC, good night to you. Let me see, Chris, I'm seeing ShopRite Duncan, good night to you, Cindy, and good night to you, Judd. And let me see who else is there, Claude, Leroy, Kishon, I'm seeing Anne. Hannah, good night to you. Marilyn, good night to you. Lucky Peter. Let me see. Maria, Shemi, I know you're always there, girl. Kishon, Tyrone, Kera, good night. Let me see, Jillian, Linda, Imelda, Francois, good night to you. Olive, Antonito, good night. Diana, Jocelyn, and let me see who else. Christine Adams, good night. Right, Mavis, good night. Nadia, good night. Let me see, Courtney, good night. Shenron, good night. Keith, good night. Good night to Trisha and Sean. Look, if I'm saying good night, the program go finish and I'm still saying good night to Lynn, Wendy and Yolan, Shona, Kenisha, good night to all of you on the Facebook. Good night to all of you on the YouTube. And of course, it is time for talking points, where we discuss serious issues and we discuss them and things. Sometimes we might make a look at joke and thing, but serious things that taking place. You know, when we talking about serious things, you know what has been going on lately, the crime situation, all this kind of thing. And then when you hear that, and then on the other end, you're hearing some of the things that are taking place with the destruction of the Royal Grenada Police Force. Yeah. So I'm hearing things like, for instance, that you're about to take some people who are constables, skip them from being corporals and put them to sergeant without them actually doing an exam. So they're just going and be elevated. Meanwhile, you take Mr. Tafawa Pierre from Deputy Commissioner of Police and you bring him down to superintendent. But you have other people in the force now that don't even have to write exam. They ain't getting to be a corporal, that they're moving straight. And I hear it's just because of proximity to the head of government. Yeah? I hear it's just because of proximity to the head of government. So you have people that moving directly from constable to sergeant, all kind of thing taking place. People moving from sergeant up to ASP. Not to officer cadet or something like that, you know, not to inspector or so. Yeah, straight from sergeant up to, you know, I don't know if they're on the 5th or the 4th, but I hear that people moving from sergeant directly up to assistant superintendent and all kind of thing. Yeah, as I say, I don't know if they're on the 5th or if they're on the 4th. But that is what I'm hearing. All right? Nice. So all these kind of things taking place within the Royal Grenada Police Force. You're still waiting to hear what is taking place with their pay and grade. They were promised pay and grade. So they're still waiting to hear what's taking place with that. I don't know if Ernst and Young closed down so that the police officers negotiating for them. But you'd realize that one of the police officers negotiating for them, you'd realize he just got a promotion. Yeah, while others was getting demotion, he was getting promotion. So one of the officers who negotiating on behalf of the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force, yes, he was one of them that recently got promoted up to ACP. Yeah? Meanwhile, other people getting demoted and all kind of thing. But anyhow, so we're not hearing much about the police negotiations. I don't know. I have a good friend there. Maybe they might let me know. You understand? You have to tell me thing now. No? Because when they pass the act on Wednesday... Oh, yes. Hey, short man, good night to you. Let me say, I had to say, you know, I say all of that because I want to save a special good night to Miss Kathy Albert out there in Brooklyn. A happy birthday to you, Kathy. We know that you're going to enjoy it. We know you're the kind of person you're going to make sure you enjoy it. And that, we know that your son and everyone around you is going to make sure that you have a wonderful one. But even without all of them, knowing you, Kathy, I know you're going to make sure that you have a wonderful one for yourself. So have a very happy birthday to Miss Kathy Albert out there in Brooklyn. You know, sometimes you have to take Miss Cammy. A good night to you. Miss Cammy should be home. Yeah, I think she should be home by now, just reaching home and think, Cammy, good night to you. Why people want to know who sing that song? Hey. Yeah, is a fella by the name of Kelly. Kelly that sing that song, right? Yeah, a fella by the name of Kelly. Right? One of these days I have to try and see him. Yeah. There's a fella by the name of Kelly that sing that song. Think bad. I'm going to see you tomorrow. But yeah, I was telling you about the situation within the Royal Grenada Police Force. I'm meeting officers every day who are continually telling me that they have either already applied to or are about to leave the Royal Grenada Police Force. Yeah, they've gotten to that stage. Because when they see these kind of things taking place, imagine you already write your exam, you pass your exam. You you might be waiting in an acting position, because if Mr. Tafawa Pear was the acting deputy commissioner of police and he could be sent down to superintendent, there are guys who acting in other capacities too, you know. Yeah, you might have an acting sergeant that might end up back down as a corporal or something. You have guys who acting as inspector might end up back down in red stripe again. Yeah, they might end up back down in, yeah, come out of the gabardine and end up back down in the red stripe again. You don't know, because there's precedent already set for that with what has taken place right now. So the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force, yeah, especially at a point in time when we really need them. Yeah, when we think the port, sounding like the port in Baghdad back in the days, you understand? All you hear is we find gun, we find gun, we find gun. Right? And next thing you're hearing gunfire in all the different areas up in the northeast. There's a particular area you're hearing gun salute in the morning, all kind of nonsense taking place. You're hearing about gun salute taking place in parts in town. You're hearing about gun salute here and there. All sorts of nonsense taking place. Yeah? While that is taking place, I'm still saying Grenada is the safest place and the best island on earth. We might have the worst government, but we are still the best country on earth. Because we made it so. You and I. Yeah? So while we might have the most incompetent, the worst government, we are still the best place on earth. It ain't no place better than here. Don't let anybody convince you of that. Yeah? That is why when these things that are taking place now are taking place, we have to do all in our power, all that we can to ensure that we nip it in the bud. And one of the ways of doing that is to treat fairly with the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force, because they are the ones that have to deal with these issues. Yeah? You're hearing about shooting in the south of the island, who shoot up place. I mean, come on, man. We're hearing about this kind of nonsense. We don't want to start sounding as though we're in parts of St. Lucia like we in Viewfort. We don't want to start sounding like that. We don't want to hear all this sort of nonsense that's taking place in those places taking place here. Imagine you had this murder taking place the same day you had RSS meeting taking place here in Grenada, you know. In other words, regional security mechanism was having meeting in Grenada with the head of the regional security system, who at this point in time is the Prime Minister of Grenada, and then you had this crime taking place in Grenada at the same time. Have you heard the Royal Grenada Police Force do a press conference in relation to this and give the details in relation to it? Or have they just left that up to speculation with the general public in relation to what is happening? Now I'm asking these questions and the phone lines are open because I said most likely we may have to cut at around 9:30. We may have to cut. I'm waiting on a message to see if I really have to cut at that point in time. But yeah, so I'm saying that it is necessary for us to hear from our Minister of National Security, who happens to be our Prime Minister, and also from the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force. The hierarchy of the Royal Grenada Police Force needs to speak out and say what is being done to address these issues. Of course, we don't expect you to give us details in relation to the operations you're having. No, we're not stupid. We're not telling you that you've got to come out and tell us all the intricate details of the mechanisms that you're putting in place, but at least come and tell us, the Grenadian people, we saw an upsurge in December of armed robberies in Grenada. Then it died down. Now we're seeing an upsurge in relation to gun crimes in Grenada, and we hope that it dies down. So with all of that taking place, we need to hear from you, men and women of the Grenada Police Force. How the Constitution call you, I think. I think they call it Royal Grenada Police Force. Remember, it's the same police force that just now, this government is going to have to find a significant amount of money to change over bits and pieces of uniform. Yeah, all those things with the ER had to come off and the CR had to go in. So as far as I'm concerned, you could have dumped all of that and just go straight with Grenada Police Force. That way, when CR go his way, you don't have to find money to change nothing again, and they ain't giving you money for that. Same with the prison, right? Same thing. Right? Time to change the names of all those kind of things. I say it here first, right? Nice. Time to change them thing. Because then you have to find money to constantly be changing this, changing this. Let's settle. Change the name. Or use the name that's in the Constitution for the police force. Let's get off over this Royal Grenada Police Force nonsense and all of that. Call it by a proper name, a Grenadian name. Let Grenadians own it. All right. I wonder if the British even offer training to our police officers right now that we have to continue with the name. But that's just me. All right. Nice. Good. Yeah. Also continually hearing about the health situation taking place in our country right now. Right? Up to today, hearing stories, getting voice notes from patients in the hospital who can't access medication, who going in for minor surgery. And every time the doctor say, well, I need this, or I need that, or I need the other, the doctor is being told, well, we don't have that, or we don't have this. Doctor chunks in bandage and medication, chunks in on this, chunks in on that to cover. Come on, what kind of madness is that? We get back to that stage again. I see they go and they're looking at site for hospital. Listen, I for one have no problem if you're going to build a new hospital, nice and good, no problem with that. But it doesn't mean that you have to leave the existing one to deteriorate, as what was done by the NDC administration of 2008 to 2013. You don't leave the existing structure to deteriorate. You improve on the facility, because right now, nurses are upset. And nurses are upset because, number one, the attrition rate is increasing. Because you come and you bamboozle them, and they say, well, we're giving you a 500. And then when the nurses think they're getting a 500, they end up getting a 490 or 420 or some kind of, 420. They end up getting, because you decided that you're taking money out of that. And then in some other instances, by the time you give them the 5, it took them over the income tax threshold, so they had to pay income tax. So they ended up at a loss instead of a gain. That's what you did. So when nurses decide, hey, these people promise us better and they're giving us worse, and they decide they're going. When a nurse has to go and dress somebody and they can't get the proper bandages and so on, they can't get enough, they have to be chunks in on bandage and chunks in on surgical tape and all this kind of thing. Yeah, in Grenada we have a word, for those of you that are not Grenadian, in Grenada we have a word called chunks in. It means that you take out a little piece of something. Yeah, so we give you a little chunks of tape. It means we do have a lot of tape, so we take out a tiny piece and use just enough. We give you a chunks of tape. Right, that's a Grenadian word. Don't try and thief we thing, you know. Yeah, right, that is Grenadian. That's a Grenadian word. We chunks thing. Right? So we give them a little chunks of tape here, a little chunks of bandage. That the kind of thing that we had to be operating with at the general hospital. Yeah? And at medical facilities around the island. That patients who are suffering from hypertension, etc., are going for their medication and being told that there's none there for them. And remember, many of these are the same patients, the very same patients who were receiving $150 on the seed and it was taken out. So you can't get the medication from the government pharmacy. You can't buy it because you've been taken off the seed program totally, or your spending power from what you were given under the seed program has been reduced because $150 gone. And up to now, they stand up there and they don't care about that. Every week all you're seeing them doing is liming. This is the liming government. All you're seeing is they liming on a weekend. If they don't pitch in marble, they're sucking cocoa. And I mean that in a derogatory sense. They actually was sucking cocoa, you know, the thing itself, in the pot there. That's the kind of thing. Right? Like they think they could manage government on Facebook. Like they don't realize that they actually have a job to do. So when the people in St. John's looking for their representative, and they can't find her even if they use a microscope or a telescope, they can't find her. They're looking for a left, they're looking for a right. They're looking for a day, they're looking for a night. And she's still out of sight. They can't find her. And others are saying the same thing. In St. Patrick's, there's a cry. Where you? They're looking for you. Yeah? Well, I hear they might get to see one of the MPs tomorrow because, you know, we keep telling them every week that they need to do a post-cabinet press briefing. So we hear that they're going and make some diplomatic appointments tomorrow night. We'll allow them to make the announcement of their diplomatic appointments. Not everything you must say only. So let them make their announcements of the diplomatic appointments tomorrow. Yeah? All well and good. No problem. I mean, that's what we're asking. Come out to the people and tell them what is going on. We need to know what is going on. Even with the restructure in the GIS, we need to know what's going on, because we're hearing some people in GIS may have to go home and some may have to be transferred into different ministries and different capacities and all kind of things. Hearing all kind of stories. Who might end up in Parliament, having to work over there and all kind of things. Guys, I'm telling you what I'm hearing. Yeah? In the same way I'm hearing talk, I hear a kind of talk about income tax, but we're going to leave that one for another night. I hearing a talk about income tax. I hearing a talk about it. Because let's face it, this administration, this NDC administration, has done absolutely nothing to bring money into the Grenadian economy since taking office. What have they done? What have they done to bring money into the economy or cause money to circulate in the economy? Remember, in the campaign, several times you heard the now Prime Minister speaking about the panacea, the pill, the medication for the Grenadian economy coming out of COVID-19 was that you should have given everybody the pension and that money going to spend and you're going to see a big rebound in the economy. Hello, make a walk in St. George's. Go and walk in St. George's. Make a walk in Guave. Because we know all you're afraid. All you want to walk in Guave and all kind of thing. Even if all you was voted in Guave, all you want to walk in Guave. Go and battle people ain't good for all you again. Yeah? Go and battle people ain't good for all you again. Lance people ain't good for all you again. Yeah? So go, make a walk. You have situations where small businesses are feeling the pinch. But they said, hey, if you put all this money into the economy with the pension, all the businesses going to be overflowing with people buying and they're going to spend money and spend money and spend money. Have you all seen that happen? Now they're trying another shot because it's experimentation. Yeah, one of my specialities is actually chemistry and advanced physics. I'm not really a literature person, That's why I just do that by the side kind of thing. But my real area is the sciences. Advanced physics, advanced chemistry. So sometimes you have to try different formulas to see which one works. So they try the pension thing, they ain't get through that one. So right now, they're speaking about we're going to pay on a fortnightly basis. The same people who was catching in Nene to pay in January, who planning to sell Grenlec, right? Who planning to sell Grenlec, who planning to do all this selling of government properties and different things to try and raise money because they can't think out of the box to find ways to bring investment into Grenada. The only thing they've been looking at to bring money into the Grenadian economy has been the only thing they're looking at has been the CBI program. Nothing else. Have you seen a serious, okay, you could say it's not a fully year yet, but have you seen a serious thrust in relation to the fishing industry? They say, well, okay, let's see if we can bring in a $60 to $100 million in the fishing industry. Have you seen a serious effort in relation to that by this administration? Have you seen a serious effort in relation to any of the areas that they spoke about during their campaign to boost the economy? It's talking about the creative economy. Number one, you have to encourage these people outside of Grenada who want to do films and so to come into Grenada and all of that. Then you have a rollout time with the scripting and all that kind of thing. So by the time you might get your first serious film, that's going to bring a couple $1 million in, if at all. You're talking about another year or two. And you have to be connected to have the people to bring in to get that. So that ain't anything that's starting up soon. So they're talking about paying salary twice a month. Now, you're working for $1,200. And they're paying you twice a month, which means that they're paying you $600 and $600. In other words, at the end of the month, you have gotten during the whole month the same salary that you was getting in the first place. I would have thought that what you would have been looking at is in the same way that you raise your salary by $24,000 a year, that you would have found a way to increase the salaries of these workers. Not just focus on we going and pay on the half month. Because you're paying on the half month. You speak to the lending institutions, you speak to the banks and so in relation to that. Let's go to the phone lines. Let me just get this one here. Hello, good night.
Hey Sheldon, how you doing, brother?
I'm always good.
That is so good. Good program.
All right, thank you.
I got a question here. The budget, the NDC, the government budget, last budget, there was a projection that they were going to raise $280 million in the CBI program. Am I correct in the budget?
Yeah, there was a projection in relation to that. I can't remember the exact figure, but I think you're pretty close to it, if I remember correctly.
Right on. So now, with the CBI program in jeopardy right now, they will have a shortfall of about $280 million.
Well, I think it may even be more than that, because I'm telling you, CBI programs around the world right now are not expanding. They are closing. So there are about 3 or 4 countries. Can't remember them exactly now, but it's on information network that I'm on. I usually get the info on it. And there are about 3 or 4 countries have actually stopped their CBI program. They close it down.
Right. Because they were banking on the CBI program, the money from the CBI. Now that is shut down, and they are not raising any funds for investment in the economy. So what's going to happen, man?
Well, that's the thing. You see, they have the options that they have are to tax the people more. And that's why I said I've been hearing some talk about income tax threshold being lowered. I've been hearing that talk of the income tax threshold, the possibility. But you know what they do sometimes? They float this talk, and when you speak about it and they realize how the public reacts to it, then all of a sudden they make their final decision on it. Nah, boy, we can't touch that yet. So they float these ideas every now and again. So one I'm hearing them floating now, I'm helping them. One they're floating now is to lower the income tax threshold. Many of the young people who are working in the system now don't really know about the income tax. But they may find themselves earning under $1,000 and still paying personal income tax. Huh? There's that possibility.
Yeah, because it seems to me with all the assets that they have up for sale, all the government assets that they have up for sale, I mean, who's going to buy it? I am assuming Grenada is not going to buy that. I think they're looking for buyers on the outside.
I think that's one of the main things that they have been looking at. I can definitely tell you that they are actively looking for someone to take Grenlec off of their hands, to put us back in the situation where Grenlec is not owned by the people of Grenada. They are actively looking at that. I don't know if any other statutory bodies are on the chopping block. Like, for instance, well, we've heard what they've done with the Marketing and National Importing Board is basically they're looking to head similar. You've heard, and there's a release that came out on the Marketing Board today, I'll get to later. You don't know what else they're looking to dispose of. Because they one of the main areas they looked at for funding their budget was disposal of government assets. That's shares in companies and so on. Different things like that. Properties. Selling government properties. Selling. Getting rid of it.
Right.
We don't want it again. Right. Yeah, give us $5 million and take it. Give us $2 million and take it. You know, that sort of thing. That's what they had in their budget presentation in December.
But here's the point. What about if you didn't get it sell? What are you going to do? You're stuck with it with a fixed asset, and what are you going to do? Nothing.
Loans, and more loans. And that's if you qualify for loans.
From Grenadian banks?
Well, they did say during their campaign, again, I listened carefully, you know, during their campaign, they said that there is so much liquidity in all of the local commercial banks that if you lean on them too much, the money will come pouring out. So in other words, they are looking at the local banking sector to take loans, but they may also be looking at some of the international lending agencies, IMF and so on, World Bank, etc., looking at those and Caribbean Development Bank as some of the possible sources for loans. But that's really and truly, I don't see creative thinking in relation to what is taking place to the Grenadian economy.
And going to the IMF, that is trouble, because you go into the IMF, they're going to give you, but they'll tell you have to cut this and restructure this. They're giving you loans on their terms at high interest.
But see, if you know what you're doing and you go there from a position of strength in relation to with the IMF, then that's a difference. But when you go there and they realize these guys don't know what you're about, you lose 72 million or more going just in Barbados there. you ain't know way about. They'll just do
But
you
this
what
is
they
the
feel
point.
like.
It's a principle when you're asking for loan. If you don't have any assets, like right now, it seems like they're in a negative. If you have money and you're asking for money, it's a part of the principle of banking. If they know that you have money, they will give you money. But if you have nothing, you might be in a little bit of trouble. A high interest rate.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you're borrowing, you try to borrow at the lowest interest rate possible. So, and you try to get it extended over the longest repayment period so that the payments are much smaller. So it doesn't it doesn't burden the public purse too much on a monthly basis. I don't know exactly how they are approaching this, but I could tell you that I'm looking for something new. I'm looking for a new project. Imagine they opened the Mount Kuma Road. And if we had not spoken about it, they would not even mention that the former administration had anything to do with it. Yeah?
I heard that.
They would not even mention that the former administration had anything to do with it. They're starting
you know
the Bel Air
what,
Road.
Kuma Road, you could never build a road in 9 months.
Well.
It was built by the all they do is to put paint on it. The whole structure of the road was built by the former government.
Yeah, so they're trying to take credit for these things. But I'm saying, what major project have we seen or have they conceptualized that's going to be coming on stream or that we're hearing about to be rolled out that they have conceptualized? Not that the NNP already negotiated, found funds for, etc., and it's just a roll. Something that they have come up with to bring money into the Grenadian economy. Tourism has been there since Columbus. Columbus and them was the first set of tourists. So since then, tourism has been around. Sometimes he good, sometimes he bad. So you have tourism. That brings in some money. The St. George's University School of Medicine. Since COVID, the numbers have never returned to the number of students that were at SGU. The numbers have not returned to that level since COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a huge part of the GDP, right?
That's about 22%. According to the fluctuation, sometimes it's as much as 22% of your GDP, your gross domestic product, the money that comes in, because you have the fees that the students pay, that's one thing. But remember, they shop in the local economy. They purchase gas for vehicles, they rent, they go and they line by the bar, they buy a pizza, they spend in the local economy.
Well,
so
absolutely.
with all of that, they actually contribute quite a significant amount.
Absolutely.
You have properties in the south of the island that the owners of those properties make significant amounts of money on a monthly basis through rentals to these students. So that's roughly about 22, yes, it could range between 17 and 22% according to, it fluctuates,
that's about 20%
of your GDP.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. But it's just that this government don't have a clue of how to govern, how to raise funds, how to bring money into the economy. They're just going along as, they're just going along as God. That's what it is. It doesn't seem like they have any initiative.
If it's Wheel of Fortune, somebody could have buy them a vowel, but as it is right now, things bad.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It doesn't look too nice because what I'm looking at now, the economy looks it's very challenging right now.
Mm-hmm. And you see, they're actually of the view that the person that earns, let's say the person earns $2,000 a month, and you pay them $1,000 and then you pay them $1,000, that means that more money in the economy. But it's the same $2,000. It's the same $2,000. It doesn't add more money into the economy.
Makes sense.
It's sort of phantom economics.
What they were banking on is that the money that they gave out in the pension, they were saying that the money is going to go back to the economy. But by the way, all these people get pension. They are retirees. They don't spend.
Brother man.
They leave it for the great-grandchildren or for the funeral expenses. They're not putting money back into the economy. If the money was going to young people's hands, they would put it back. But old people, retired people, is not going to spend money at this point in time in their life.
And remember, many of these elder people aren't even in Grenada. Many of the people who receive these payments, some of them are up in North America and Canada and even the UK and other Caribbean territories. So the money went into their accounts and so on. Some of them come down, they sort out the thing, they take the money and back out. There are some here. Yeah, there are some here who got the money. And you're 70-something years old, you're in your late 60s and so, you have medical conditions. You obviously ain't going to take that money and just spend, but you look after yourself medically.
The mortgage has been paid off, everything has been done. money is for the great-grandchildren's future and for the college, not going back in the economy.
Yes, indeed. And as I mentioned that before I forget, there was a caller sometime over the past 2 weeks or so that called and had recently completed a kidney transplant. Caller, I need you to WhatsApp me on the WhatsApp. Send a message to me. I need to get in contact with you. That's the same caller who had a transplant recently. I believe they're up in the US and they had a kidney transplant. I need that caller to get in touch with me ASAP, please. WhatsApp me on the 440-7377.
All right, brother.
Yes, so thank you so very much, my brother.
All right. You take
All
care.
right, thank you.
Good program.
All right, thank you. Yes, indeed, folks. And of course, the number 440-7377. You can call us, you can WhatsApp us, you can WhatsApp call us. You just can't video call me because, you know, anything here. We ain't set up that kind of system yet. Again, I'll set it up, but I ain't set up that system yet. So you could video call and we could pull you up and think, don't worry. Piece by piece. Piece by piece. Nice? Yeah, somebody tell me they want to hear that again. Yeah, okay, no problem. So I'm still waiting. What have they added to the economy? What have they added to the economy except unemployment? Yeah? Mm-hmm.
It's a long time and yet Grenadian crying. Like to change, man is making nice. Like to change, get too heavy. Like to change. Want to kill somebody. There are some fellas that run in the country and like they think really cannot see. When you want them for something, man, they think they don't tell you. I want to ball. I feel to cry. Sometimes I wonder why. Think about it, I will see you tomorrow. Think about it, I will check you later.
We have a caller online. Good night.
Mr. Sheldon Scott, good night, sir.
Camille Teresa Scott.
Forgot to read my full name. Camille Teresa Scott.
I pulled the birth certificate.
Residing in Bushes, St. George's, Grenada, West Indies.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Sheldon, good night. And good night to the listeners that is listening to Talking Points tonight. Mr. Scott.
Yes, ma'am.
You're telling people to pass your tongue. Sheldon, I dey in the tongue every day, you know. I dey in tongue every day. And it is not nice. I would have really liked Mr. Deacon Mitchell as the Prime Minister of Grenada pass through the city, walk the tongue of St. George and go to the market and pass in the stores and ask the people, the owners of the stores, and the people are selling the coconut and the blogo and the fig and the side of the road, what's going on in Grenada. Ask them, Pastor, pass on the terminal and ask us what's going on. Sheldon, I won't lie for you. I have no reason to tell no lie to the listeners. You have some people, Sheldon, they have the money. They don't come in and shop in the market. They don't come in and shop at the terminal. They don't come in Indian stores and shop. They shop online, Sheldon. They shopping online. I see something Saturday. Friday was not so bad. Friday last week. I make up $50 last week Friday. But Saturday, Sheldon, a Saturday morning, tongue was like a goose tongue. People just walking, people not shopping. And to be honest speaking, Grenada is rough. Forget about NDC, NNP and NDC. It is rough. Forget about that. Grenadian people is going through a rough time right now. You hear what I tell you? And none of them can say I'm telling a lie. Everybody is going through a rough time. You hear what I say? Who are the bankyard? They could just go and shove the banker in the machine and money come out. But I'm speaking about the poor people. You know what I see? That is government don't like poor people. They don't like poor people. Because if these people like poor people, they would have never sent home all these people. They should be creating jobs. Mr. Dick Mitchell, my name is Camille Scott. People need jobs, sir. I don't know if you're not listening. I know you don't listen because you have your computer in your house. And you're listening to all these radio programs. I know you're not listening. People need jobs, sir. Young people need jobs. Put out more of the gangs on the road. Give people, young people, things to do. People suffering, sir. People suffering, Mr. Deacon Mitchell. People is suffering. I'm speaking the truth. NDC supporters suffering. NNP supporters suffering. Because the money not circulating in this country. I don't bright like you. I don't bright like some of your ministers. Poor people is suffering. I am telling you that because people come in and ask me for 150 to put with $1, they have to pay the boss. People come in and borrow $5 and I don't have. But when they tell me they're living in Sotes, I can't, and I have a $10, I have to give them the 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pleading to you to sit back and think about the people that put you in office. You own people. They're suffering, Mr. Deacon Mitchell. They need jobs, work. They want to work so they could buy food for their children. They could send their children to school. They could give their mother and their father something. They could give somebody that is a neighbor that have nobody to give them a plate of food. They could give them something. All you think about the people. Think about the Grenadian people. It's rough in this country. There is not no people tell me to say that. I am living in Grenada. And it's real. It's real, sir. You have women in the cabinet. Women and women suffering. Prostitution is on the rise in Grenada. That is the fact. Prostitution is on the rise in this country. Baba God, have mercy. I'm begging all you, give people work to do. Find ways and means because you're all that bright. All these bright people. People need work. They need that job to take care of their family. You have a lot of robbing. A lot of things will happen. If people get work, if their mind idle, they do idle things, sir. I'm begging again. That is what they need in this country. If you cannot do the job, be bold enough to say, I can't make it. Give it up. If you cannot do the job, give it up. Please. That is what we need in Grenada. So the money could circulate. I could buy me case of water. When you give for people work and they come by me and support me, they go by the next lady next door and support, and the money goes circulate. But nothing happening. Nothing is happening. And the next thing people are going to start. Grenadian people know the Monkuma Road was built under the NNP government. And they didn't have the courtesy to invite the people that built that road. That road built by under the NNP. I didn't have the courtesy to say, well, look, Dr. Mitchell, we opening the road. We will need you to come and cut the ribbon with the other MP they have up there. You all want all the credit. You think we didn't people stupid? Run right ahead. Grenadian people stupid, you know. They know it's NNP that built that road. They know it's NNP that is. They
All right.
know the NNP that build it by roads and them are we are living and in other village in this country. Or they have to stop this thing. Change your mindset and do the right thing.
All right.
Good night, Grenada.
All right, Cami. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. It's roughly about 6 minutes to the hour of 9 o'clock. So I'm going to try to go a little past the 9:30 that I set for myself. I'm going to try to push a little bit past that. So 440-7377. For those of you who would like to call on the overseas line, you can call on 437-329-3101. Yeah, I feel watch that song. Yeah, that song like he come in my team song there.
Like it only for people that feeling the pain. Aye, aye, aye. Like it change.
We have a call online. Good night. Hello.
Good night, Sheldon. Good night to your listening public.
Good night to you.
Yeah, Sheldon, I have a brief comment to make, but I want you to permit me to explain something
Mm-hmm.
to. And I am not an economist, but I've been around for quite a period of time, a long period of time, with a little experience in a lot of politics. And I know for a fact, when a country economy is good, it creates avenue for people to be employed. The private sector will be on a high. The public sector would be on a high because things is happening. When the economy is bad, the banks basically will shut its doors or make it difficult for people to get financial assistance. Whether you want to start a business or you want to borrow money to build a house and you're working, they doesn't guarantee you any security at all because you don't know when under this government, the NDC government, they doesn't know when they will lose their job. So in other words, the economic turnover does be very, very, very slim. So you wouldn't get much turnover as if you have a fluent or a flowing and a good return of economic activities so that the government can collect major revenue and plenty monies. So there is a good old saying that my grandmother taught me, and a good friend of mine told me that when you have $1, don't spend 80 and 90 cents out of the dollar because you don't know where the next dollar coming from. And this is a true saying. So if people not working, there is no avenue for them to get employment, and they have 50 cents. They might tempted to spend 10 cents out of it. So the small economic turnover wouldn't reach very far. So the government as a whole will feel the squeeze because money is not generating, no turning over of finances to the economy of this country. And so doing, business places wouldn't sell as much. Banks wouldn't give much loans because they want money when they lend and they want to create a good interest rate. So that is what's happening in Grenada today. These are the things, the problems that we face. You cut the e-money by half. You send home you basically close down the debushing program, the bathroom and toilet program, the house repair program, basically on a low, very low, and a number of other programs that people was benefiting from has been cut. And then you cut the 150. Well, people doesn't talk about it much again, but you cut for people 150. How you expect a fluent flow of cash revenue to generate so that you can pay the workers that you have? A government coming to office has to create avenue so that people could be employed and develop themselves, or create avenue so that people could get loans to do small business and make money so that they can support their family and the children and the grandchildren.
All
But
right.
that is not happening today.
All right.
You cannot be fine people and expect you're going to have a good economy or a good return coming in. Just now, it would be shameful to say it, that just now they wouldn't be able to pay salaries early as it was. They had to wait and pay some by some by some. Some will get paid early, some will get paid late, some will get paid coming on to the 10th because of how
Let's
they
hope not.
generate the money.
Let's hope not, because it's the poor man that feels it, eh? All right,
All
my
of
brother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. 4407377. It's now roughly 9 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. Yeah, boy, that 9 o'clock kind of crawl up on me there. Folks, so remember, tomorrow, day 1 of the Intercol Games. Yes, so that's at the Karani James Athletic Stadium tomorrow, day 1 of the Intercol Games. Let me take this call. Let me see if I get it. Yeah, nice. Call on the WhatsApp. Good night. Hello? Hello? Oh boy, it seems as though I lost that one on the WhatsApp. Let me see. Let me go back to the other line. Hello, good night. Hello? Good night, caller. Okay. Yeah, folks, remember when you're calling to pay attention to the phone line. That's where you'll hear our voice. That's where we'll be speaking with you, not off the computer or the television or the radio or so on. Have that conversation with us via the phone line as you call. And let me try to get back onto the phone line here. Good night.
Hi, good night.
Hi, good night. You're live. Go right ahead.
Is this Sheldon?
Hi, this is he.
Hey?
Yes, this is he. You're live, my dear. Go right ahead.
Okay, this is Miss Mona.
Hi, Miss Mona. Auntie
Hello.
Mona. I'm good.
And you don't calling me? Want me and you going to cross thread, you know?
I'm taking my licks.
I
I'm
want to
taking
talk
my
to
licks.
you behind the scene.
Behind the scene. Okay. Here's what. Oh boy. As soon as I'm done, as soon as you hear me say I'm done, give me a call. Okay? I'm gonna hang around a few minutes to take your call. As soon as you hear I say I'm finished, give me a call.
Okay then.
All right, my dear. Nice, beautiful. 44. You know how long I hear from Auntie Mona? 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. Yeah. So tomorrow, Intercall Games. Wednesday, more Intercall Games, and Thursday, more Intercall Games. Well, here's that. I was listening to my good friend, Mr. Andre Donald, this morning, and he was making a point, and it's a very valid one, eh? Yeah. Now, they could have had a parliament sitting tomorrow, you know. Yeah. They didn't need to put it for Wednesday. They could have had a parliament sitting tomorrow, but they put it for Wednesday. That's day 2 of the Intercall Games. We haven't had Intercall Games here for a number of years. There are many students who from Form 1 coming up, they have not been to Intercall Games. They never had an Intercall Games. You had students that was nearly ready to leave school that really didn't get Intercall Games. So the viewership, the interest is going to be high on the island. So while Intercall Games is going on, how much people watching Parliament? How many of us are going to say we're going to pay full attention to what is going on in the Parliament of Grenada? And secondly, they're trying to pull a smart one day. And let me tell you all exactly what they did. They put the Parliament sitting at a point in time that they know that the President of the Senate is out of Ireland. Dr. Senator the Honorable Decima Williams will be out of Ireland, if she isn't out already, and would not be here in time to preside over the Senate sitting. Now, here's what's happening with that. That is the case, but in addition to that, it means, therefore, that Senator Norland Cox will have to deputize, as he's the deputy president of the Senate, he would have to deputize and sit in the chair as presiding over the Senate sitting. This means that he can't make no presentation on the data protection bill. No, because he's presiding over the sitting. So he cannot make any presentation on that particular bill. And there is the possibility that another member of the New National Party team will not be able to make it to Wednesday's sitting. They're fully aware of that. This is not something like they're not aware. Yeah? I'm not at liberty to give further details. Listen to the Senate sitting, you will hear what the excuse that is preferred is. But they know that basically you'll only have one member of the New National Party team there. That's Senator Neelan Franklin, to speak on the data protection bill. Senator Norland Cox will be unable to do so because he'll be presiding over the entire thing, and the other member is unable to attend. Right? So you telling me that they could not have put this sitting last week or next week so that everybody would have been able to focus and listen to what is taking place? The same people that's speaking about freedom of information and making sure you know what is happening, the same people are the same ones trying their very best to shut down all information in relation to that data protection bill. You heard, if you've been listening over the weekend, you've heard Mr. Ruggles Ferguson speak out against certain sections of this bill. You've heard Mr. Derek Sylvester speaking, saying, in fact, you know what? Yeah, sometimes it must be better to play things instead of see things and all.
Also, Section 33, which a lot of people are talking about, and that has to do with the...
Yeah, let me see if I could get that fixed properly and then bring it across, because I want you to hear for yourself what was being said. Yeah? I want you to hear for yourself what was being said. And let me just make sure that I get this. Let me see. Yeah, I want to make sure that I get it proper. Yeah? Yeah, I want to make sure that I get it proper there. Nice. So let's just bring it over again. Let me hope that you...
Also, Section 33, which a lot of people are talking about, and that has to do with the execution of warrants and who can be the target of a warrant when an authorized officer accompanied by a police officer comes on a premises for an investigation. What are the thoughts there on from the Bar Association?
So we're of the view that that section is overbroad, as I indicated before, that it leaves too much room for abuse. Because one, an authorized officer could be any person. When you look at the definition of section for authorized officer, I believe it's circumscribed in section 44 thereabout. It leaves room for too much abuse. And a warrant to enter and search. You know, if you look at sections 33, and I'm sure you have it with you.
Oh, I thought I did, but it's close.
Okay. 33E and F. I want to read it because it's a bit lengthy, but it is just overbroad. It gives the authorized officer too much authority. So, for example, it states to require any person on the premises to provide an explanation of any document or other material found on the premises. And F, to require any person on the premises to provide other information as may reasonably be required to determine whether the data user has committed the offense. Some constitutional expert would say that constitutionally you have a right to remain silent, but these are other constitutional issues. But I am more concerned, I think we were more concerned then about how broad that section is.
And is there an issue with the word require? Because I know that MP Peter David, in his presentation during the committee stage of the bill, was speaking about the word require. I think it was him and MP Pear who were concerned about the word require there and what does it what does it bind the person you meet on the premises to? What I mean, do they have to speak to the police? And was it whether or not it was in violation of the right to remain silent by using the word require?
I think you have to look at the complete section and not necessarily just look at the word solely, but you have to look at the complete section to require any person on the premises to provide an explanation. And I believe that is where the possibility of a constitutional breach could actually occur. Because if you have a right to remain silent, you can't require someone to speak in the face of the Constitution that is supreme. That person has a right to remain silent. You have a right to remain silent under any circumstances.
And it doesn't, and to me, when I'm reading it, it doesn't seem to talk about being material to the investigation. It's just like anyone can be forced into participating in the investigation.
These are the issues that was raised, and hence the reason why we felt that the section is overbroad. So we're not saying that the bill is not a bill that should be passed, but we just felt it should be. There's certain fundamental changes that should be made.
So yes, folks, I just wanted you all to hear that, and I'd like to thank the Narrative Carib Update WPG 10 for Kalisha Faria's program. We give credit where credit is due. She interviewed Mr. Derek Sylvester, and we found it was necessary that you hear that section of that interview, because he was speaking there about section 33 of the bill, and I was hearing the present Attorney General saying that there's nothing, we don't have to be worried about that, and there's nothing to be worried about with that. Let me see if I can find it, because I want you all to hear what she had to say in relation to the bill, and that we didn't have to fear anything about that. There was nothing, people just saying things, and people just, come on, I'm looking for it here, and for some reason I'm not seeing the document I'm looking for on this end. Let me see if I could just, let me see if I can pull it up here. I'll just put this to play in the interim here.
There's a lot of misinformation out there, right? So let's go to section 33 now, right?
Right.
That's the section that's causing a lot of disquiet.
Okay.
If the commission has information that tells it there's been a breach of the provisions of this act, so a data user is using the information collected improperly, the commission may go to the magistrate's court and obtain a warrant to enter the premises, to search the premises, to inspect and examine the data, equipment and so found on the premises, to seize documents and information, equipment and so on the premises if it finds that an offense has been committed, and to ask persons found on the premises to divulge information that may be helpful in a subsequent prosecution, right? Under the act, right? Now, there's a lot of concern about the right given to the commission to enter the premises, to search, and to seize equipment and whatnot. I assure the public this is no different, and in fact, it's narrower than what is provided for example, by Section 15 of the Criminal Code. This is normal. We have a criminal code that has been in place since the late 1800s, and there's the power there of the police to obtain a warrant from who? The magistrate. The same magistrate under this act.
To go and search.
Under Section 15 of the Criminal Procedure Code, the powers exercised by a police constable in executing a search warrant is far wider than what is provided here under this act. And there is no complaint by anyone that the Section 15 of the Criminal Code goes too far. So this is what I'm saying is now
so what
not
was
genuine.
propagated is false.
It's false. So come in.
Policeman, so it can't just come into your house,
No.
take your phone, take your laptop,
they get a
etc.
warrant from the magistrate under
The magistrate
section
must
15.
issue a
Right.
warrant, and that warrant, of course, must have legal
Right. So
purpose.
you must come to the
Proof.
just like in this act,
Mhm.
under the criminal code, and in this act, you go to the magistrate with evidence that the issuance of a search warrant is required.
Mhm.
So you swear an affidavit and you give the magistrate the basis on which you think a crime is being committed, right? Or is likely to be committed. There's illicit information or illicit material on the premises. There's a basis. The
Okay.
magistrate wouldn't just issue a warrant. So.
Right.
And magistrates are well familiar with this because they do it all the time
Yeah.
under Section 15 of the Criminal Procedure Code.
Well-grounded information.
Exactly. So there's no basis to this concern.
Yeah.
Now, remedies, this is what you're asking. What?
So yes, folks, I just thought it necessary that you hear what was being put forward by the Attorney General and that you could match that to what you were hearing from Mr. Derek Sylvester in relation to the same section. Now, the Attorney General was trying to be crafty, like if the rest of us never went to school, we don't know how to read, we don't know how to listen, we don't know how to understand things. Because Mr. Derek Sylvester was very clear. There are sections there that can be used to breach people's constitutional rights. The right to remain silent, to not say anything. That's a constitutional right. That is contained in the Constitution of Grenada. Yeah, that's why I keep saying some people need to read their constitution. So it is contained in there. We have a caller on the line. Let's go to the caller. Hello, good night.
Sheldon, good night. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. Go right ahead, you're live.
So, I'll just listen to what Claudette just said. So you are telling me that I can fabricate information and pass it on to whoever it is that is in power at the time, because that person, quote unquote, is green. And we can get, you're going to swear to it, the magistrate is going to sign off on that and come and search the premises because you have credible evidence as you claim. And then you want to tell me that we have nothing to be worried about? And then you want to bring up that the police has been doing that from time immemorial? Which law school did Colorado go to again? Was it Trump? Was it Trump Law School?
I am not going to question the Honorable Minister's qualifications. I will question her use of such qualifications. Because sometimes somebody could be very educated and use it for the wrong reason. They may have degrees more than a thermometer in the hot sun, but they use those degrees for the wrong reason. And I think she is being intellectually dishonest with the Grenadian people because she knows. She cannot say she doesn't know. She knows that there can be misuse of this act. She knows. She can't say to us that she doesn't know, my brother. She knows.
And I mean, you know, there are people who is believing that. There are people who is believing that and is drinking it hook, line, and sinker.
But you know,
Right,
many of them know better, you know. They just decide to do worse. Some of them does know better and decide to do worse. Because they're defending their party.
Your party. Which party you defending? This has nothing to do with party here right now. This has to do with the freedom of each and every citizen in Grenada. Red, green, yellow, black, white.
Let me explain something here because I want to explain it while you're on air so a lot of people could understand where you're coming from. Over the last week or so, I received several times a WhatsApp message pointing out with pictures of a young lady saying that the young lady is HIV positive and giving details about the young lady and so on, where she is and different things. As we know, people could be bad-minded and just do that about people. They could just put out things to spoil a person's name. It doesn't mean it has to be true. But supposing an individual who is actually, really HIV positive, that's their personal medical information, right? So if that information comes out and you're on the internet and you post and you say that person has it, or you send a WhatsApp to somebody saying that person has it, on a complaint being made, the commission can issue a warrant. The commission, through a magistrate, can get a warrant issued for the search of your home to find out where you get that information from, to seize your devices, to get your mobile phone to see, well, who sent the list of people that have HIV to him, right? And they also can use that excuse to search your computers and search all your other equipment to try and ascertain where you got that information from, if you're holding that information, and whom you've sent that information to. So anybody that feels is just for political activists have another thing coming. This means all they have to do is say, that you, and then the person will say, well, okay, I got a WhatsApp message from that person. Or they find any means. They're saying they go to the magistrate and they say, okay, person A is the person that is sending out that information. They must have a list. We go in and get it. And if the information proves to be false, the information of you being the one that sent out the information, or you having the list proves to be false, according to section 44 of this act, you cannot sue the commission. You cannot take any civil action, or criminal action cannot be brought against the people that come and search you or accuse you or anything like that. You can't. So you understand how this thing is structured?
Yeah, I do. I do. You know, and listen, I'm not an attorney. I'm not anything like that. I was a cop. I was a police officer. I was a corporal. And I'll tell you something. From what Claudia just sit and say there, people, listen, you don't have to have a bagload of education to understand the repercussions this is going to have.
But let me...
And as you rightly say, if George Worm could tell them this is wrong, Dummy James could also tell them that this is not, this is crazy.
But they're trying every trick in the book to pass the act and to keep the Grenadian people from knowing what is happening. They're trying all sorts of distraction, doing all sorts of things to get people distracted. And you see what they put it, Intercall Day 2. Everybody focus on what's going on at the stadium. Nobody focus on what's going on in Parliament. Andrew Donald said it this morning and he was right. And then added to that, you go on a day that you know, you reduce the NNP team that has to speak in the Parliament to 1. And once a vote takes place, there's no way the opposition side is going to win. There's no way the opposition side is going to win. Yeah? I'd be very surprised to, for instance, see the business senator supporting the opposition side on this. I'm saying what I believe. I do not believe he'll support the opposition position on this. He could surprise me Wednesday, but I don't believe he will.
Wait and see. Let's wait and see.
All right, caller. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, man. And keep up doing a good job, man.
No problem. Here's what I'm going to do now. As I said, I'm going to stay a little past the time that I said. Yeah, I'm going to stay a little past the 9:30 because I realize the 9:30 is nearly upon me already. But I'm going to stay a little past that because I really, really, really want you all to hear what I'm about to play. Remember the year 2020? Remember the COVID bill? Yeah, the bill that they say was unconstitutional. Government must listen to people, etc., etc., etc. Let me play an interview. Strange enough, all those interviews tend to come from the same source, you know. Yeah, Carib Update and them kind of place there. Nice, yeah. So let's hear what then just PRO of the National Democratic Congress, the leader at the time was Franca Alexis Bernardine, now the advisor in the Ministry of Education, I think. I'm sure if it's there or if she's an advisor or not an advisor, because I refuse to give you the proper list. So let's hear what, Sister Claudette had to say back then.
Point well taken. Given the construct of the Grenada Parliament, this goes to Parliament on Wednesday of this week, right? Is that what I was told?
Yes, it does.
If this
Yes.
if this is passed, and this, what recourse do you have as the main opposition party?
Well, in addition to the protest action, we have already engaged lawyers with a view to challenging this bill in court because we think it is constitutionally invalid. And we all know what our constitution says at section 106. It's the supreme law of the land. Any law that is passed that is inconsistent with it is void to the extent of the inconsistency. So we are prepared to take this matter to the courts. But we are protesting, hoping and expecting our government to listen to the voice of the people and pull back this unnecessary, unconstitutional, and draconian bit of legislation.
All right, folks. Yeah. So you heard when she was in opposition and a bill that was coming that she considered to be unconstitutional. You heard what she had to say. You heard the advice that she was given. Yeah? That they're going to get lawyers and they're going to challenge and they're going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You heard her, eh? That's the same person who is the Attorney General bringing a bill, refusing to consult, refusing to listen. Yeah? Well, the Bar Association have said that they're going to bring, several of the issues to the attention of the Attorney General. That should happen between today and tomorrow because obviously the Parliament sitting is taking place on Wednesday and this government refuses to move that Parliament sitting. Number one, they don't want a full NNP team there to be able to talk. And secondly, they want a major distraction in the form of Intercall, one of the biggest events nationally on a yearly basis. They want to make sure that people's attention are focused elsewhere and not focused on the Parliament building. Because you know they're coming and say, oh, all they ain't genuine and all that. So tell Mr. Ruggles Ferguson that he ain't genuine. Tell Dr. Francis Alexis and Mr. Derek Sylvester and the entire Bar Association that they are not genuine in their concerns in relation to this bill. You heard her in 2020. That was her, the same individual. You heard her in 2020 and the statements she was making about protest action and so on. And strange enough, it happens to be on Wednesday this week as well. Protest action. Yeah? Same individual. Now she is wearing the boots of Attorney General. The bill that's being passed is in her name. Yeah. Her name is attached to the bill. Her name is actually on the document E-Day. The same individual you just here talking about draconian legislation, non-constitutional, unconstitutional, protest action, and if it passes it, we're going to go to the constitutional courts. What did the New National Party do? It pulled that bill back for further consultation. It listened to the concerns of the people and it pulled the bill back. It listened to the Bar Association and everybody. But you see, they don't even send things to the Bar Association again. Let me see if I could find the other one here. Let me see. I want you to know, because I'm winding down now, I want you to know that last week, Thursday, we spoke about the Media Workers Association. Yeah, Gerard and them. We spoke about them and we said, but we're not hearing from the Media Association. We ain't hearing from them. The Media Association seems to have gotten a case of mutitis. And we know the people in the Media Association could talk. We know if it's one thing, they could talk, innit? We know that they know how to use social media and they know how to use the media, utilize the media to get their message out. So we was wondering what was taking place with the Media Association. Lo and behold, after we say that, on Friday morning, the government of Grenada, not the Media Workers Association of Grenada, them still sleeping. The government of Grenada sends out a release saying that 1 week prior, not the same day, a week before, that would be take it to somewhere around the 17th or so, they met with the Media Workers Association, the Prime Minister and the Press Secretary. She finds something to do finally. The Prime Minister and the Press Secretary met with the Media Workers Association and that they had discussions on what? The Data Protection Bill. Ask the members of the Media Association, outside of the executive members that met with the Prime Minister, if they were notified of that meeting. I guarantee you the answer will be no. So the leadership of the Media Workers Association did not notify the membership that they were going to that meeting. Secondly, ask them if after that meeting, the membership of the Media Workers Association of Grenada, MWAG, was ever informed that they went and they meet the Prime Minister and the outcome. Was a Zoom held with all the members? Were all the members called into a meeting and they discussed the different aspects of the bill before they went to the Prime Minister? No. So, Mr. Gerard Joseph, all you playing games. All you playing games. I'm calling all you out, you know. Me afraid to say it, you know. Most all you could do is write a story on me or do a video on me. I don't care. It ain't bothering me. But all you hypocrite and all you playing games. If all you want to lie, in fact, some of them ain't just lie down in bed with the Prime Minister and the government, you know. Some of them wearing matching pajamas too. That is what's going on with the Media Workers Association right now. So when you see certain stories coming out, you understand how that's happening now. The membership of the Media Workers Association of Grenada were not informed of that meeting. You did not have a general meeting before so that members could air their views in relation to the Data Protection Bill and what concerns should be brought to the Prime Minister. Prove me wrong. You came out from that meeting and 1 week later, after I opened my big mouth on this program, is when the government of Grenada had to inform the people of Grenada that the Media Association had a meeting with them. Since then, before then, and all now, all your mouth closed. Imagine, George Worm, of all people, George Worm had to be the one that calls on the government to hold on the bill and to relook it. Meanwhile, all you're quiet. And then, because that happened now, we have Kalistra saying what went on. So let's hear Kalistra. Kalistra, thanks for the clip said, yeah. Maybe hear what Kalistra.
Now, the Media Association, we met with the Prime Minister last week to convey some of the concerns that we had with the bill. And one of the questions I asked him was whether or not the bill would hold, for instance, that someone, a data user, gets the data from the data subject and pass it to me and I use it. Am I also liable under this act? And he said it was something that he hadn't thought about. What's your take on that scenario there, having read the bill?
Well, I'll be very honest with you. I'll not be in a position to comment on that aspect of it. If the Prime Minister would have tabled it in Parliament, is not in a position to speak on it. On that aspect of it, it tells you that the bill is in need of some review.
So yeah, there it is, you had it. She admitted they met with the Prime Minister and she raised a concern. And I'll tell you something, I don't find in the picture that came out, I don't have the picture up here. I don't have it into the system, but I saw the picture that the Media Workers Association took together with the Prime Minister when they met with him. The one face that didn't look pleased is Kalistra, Yeah, the one face that didn't look pleased is hers. But you heard the question she asked. She asked the Prime Minister, not about the person who take the information from either government or wherever, She asked about the person that received the information. if that person can find themselves in legal trouble due to the act that is before Parliament, the bill that is before Parliament, if that person can find themselves in trouble because she's thinking as a journalist, hey, I am the recipient. While you may say data, the data owner, the person whose information it is, and the person who is supposed to have that information in their care, what about the person who it is passed to? And the Prime Minister say he don't know, he ain't think about that. The same Prime Minister who's saying that we don't need no consultation on this and people just saying thing and you have to send the bill forward and all kind of thing. That same Prime Minister is the one that saying he don't know. He didn't think about that. So you're putting a law in place and you ain't thinking about who the law is affecting. But we know you just put things in place and don't think about who it's affecting. Because if you did think, you would have never take $150 from the most vulnerable among us. You'd have never create the amount of unemployment you're creating by the people that you are sending home based on nothing but their political allegiance. If you were thinking about that, you would not have done what you're doing, the evisceration that's taking place of the Royal Grenada Police Force right now. You would not have been doing that if you were thinking about that. So don't think it's only about the bill and who it is going to affect as the person who receives the information at the end, and if the act, because the act can be used on that person. Yeah? Once they suspect or they have anything that they believe that person has that information in their hands, the bill can be used to go after that person. So it's either the Prime Minister, who is a lawyer, by the way, is being disingenuous, intellectually dishonest, or he really just don't know. And if he don't know, then he needs to pause and read the bill again. And if he needs to read the bill again, then he should understand that it's time to hold on the bill and let everybody read again, because there may be other things inside there that he for himself didn't realize there. But no, all the rest of us, we are no sense. So just go ahead with the bill. And we're supposed to keep quiet and not say anything. And then you have them calling now, they're calling on radio program, yeah, defend your party, defend your party. And trying all kind of tactics to try to get people to speak about other issues so that they could sneak this bill under the radar. And by the time you check yourself, Governor General sign off on it, it's gazetted, pass into law. And then they can utilize it. The same way that they're weaponizing the public service. I hear PS and all get sent home now. Don't have permanent secretary and all. I hear gate now too. Don't have PS. That they can weaponize the Public Service Commission against anybody they perceive. Watch, if you wear a piece of green top about 9 years ago, they after you, you know. They after you. And they dipping in your file, they going back until the first digit of the year was a 1. They dipping back in your files to find thing to hit you with. So it's who getting suspended, who getting fired, who's been sent on administrative leave, who's been dragged before the Public Service Commission. Here now. Union, Mr. Brian Grimes, Ms. Daisy Hazard, we need to hear from you all. In relation to salary negotiations, yeah, because it affects us too, eh? Yeah, it affects all of us too. So we want to hear what's taking place with salary negotiations. That is one. We want to hear what you all have been doing in relation to the situation of the people in Carriacou who were not afforded their legal and just fair right to a hearing, but were just fired. We want to hear what's happening with them. We want to hear what's also happening in relation to their payments that they ought to have received for holidays and other payments that they had inside that they were never given unfairly, yet they were victimized simply because it is believed and perceived that they are supporters of the new National Party. Yeah? So you all need to come out and speak to us. May they coming up, you know. We want to hear what's going on. Yeah? So salary twice a month for workers, all well and good. Yeah? As a union, have you asked the government if they have spoken with the financial institutions that many of these workers are indebted to? Have you all checked on what's going on with these workers and what is happening in relation to their monthly payments? All of us know you have a glasses man, you have that $100 bill. Once you break that $100 gone before you know what's going on, you know. So now you're breaking somebody's salary into two without the proper mechanism first in place to help that person control their spending and to change around the way that the banking sector operates so that they would be able to facilitate that. So instead of having to pay one big sum at the end of the month, that these people can pay in 2 payments or whatever it is. So instead of that, just big announcement, we're paying twice a month starting next month. Yeah? So your $2,000, again, you pay $1,000, and still we're hearing the possibility that income tax come in for a lot of people who ain't paying income tax. Yeah. It's incoming. That is what we're hearing. I ain't seen any other way that they're going to make money. Right? And while they're doing that, they also making talk for increasing their salary. You know, yes, the parliamentarians, yeah. Now make sure when I say parliamentarians who are talking to, the government parliamentarians making talk for increased salary. They say they ain't making enough money. They get $2,000 extra, tax-free. Tax-free, $2,000 extra on their salary. And now they're making talk that they still ain't making enough money. You know, they need to increase the amount of money that parliamentarians making. That is what they're saying. And they keep hinting at it every now and again, hinting at it. That they need to increase the amount of money, and they need to increase the amount of money, and they need to increase the amount of money. So that is happening. That's what you're hearing. Yeah? So folks, I'm just taking it up to the 9:45, and then, yeah, then we're going to end at 9:45. I tell you earlier, I must move a little earlier than normal tonight due to several circumstances. But that is what is taking place. You have to understand what these people are trying to do. And then they believe that what they have is a public relations problem. So they go like if they're on bus tour. You have a cabinet that consistently on a bus tour. Every weekend they go on bus tour. Next week you might see them flying kite. Because every week they're on bus tour. Don't worry, there's some nice kite selling in town. Pass around by Farm and Garden Day. Them fellas and them are some nice one. Right? Nice, yeah. Every week they're on bus tour. But the constituents in their own constituency can't see them. But every week, bus tour. Yeah? You have a country to run. But you're studying to spend the time victimizing people and setting up things about who you're going to do this and who you're going to do that and how you're going to get rid of this person and how you're going to get rid of that person and the other. But I'll say this though. I hope that our present Attorney General goes back to the year 2020 and listens to the statement she was making in relation to the COVID bill. Remember, this was a bill that was brought to Parliament at a point in time that we had a virus that the entire planet was scared of. Nothing like that had ever happened on planet Earth since we got mechanized. Not even the one in the early 1900s had the effect that COVID-19 had on planet Earth. Yeah? Remember, you couldn't even go Carriacou on Osprey. You couldn't go. Buses, half. You had to shop, lockdown inside how much days. All of these things were happening. And at that point in time, when people were scared for their lives, if somebody only coughed, you could have seen the frightened people eye. When this was happening, you had a situation where people saying don't pass anything to try and address that. It's draconian, it's this, it's the other. But now they're trying to pass things even more draconian. And they're saying that they need it because there's some money that they had to get. I'm still waiting for the evidence of that, you know. I'm still waiting for the evidence of that. Folks, tomorrow morning, the Honorable Oliver Joseph, I still call him the Honorable Oliver Joseph, he'll be on to the point from 9 a.m. So look out for him. He'll be on there from 9 a.m. representing the New National Party. We look forward to him. Folks, as I said, I have to cut early tonight. That's all the time I will have. But tomorrow, door, you know me, I'll give you back your time. All right? So tomorrow we'll give you back your time. That's all the time we have for tonight with Talking Points. You know, I've been playing that song whole time. I think I want to end on a different song tonight. Yeah. I want to end with that same song. I think I want to end with a different song tonight. So, folks, from me here at Talking Points Studio, that's it for tonight. Love each and every one of you and everything you say and do. Do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. I'm Sheldon Scott and I am out of here.
change, man is making nice. Like the change, get too heavy. Like the change, it want to kill somebody. There are some fellas that run in the country and like they think really cannot see. When you want them for something, man, this thing they don't tell you. I want to ball, I feel to cry. Sometimes I wonder why. Think about it, I will see you tomorrow. Think about it, I will check you later. Think about it, man, that is the answer. Think about it, they want me break a place. What am I dealing with, huh? My country in pain. Oh, yo, yo. Like it's only for people that feel in the pain. Aye, aye, aye. Like it change, that getting bad. Like it change, man now is crime on the double. It change, them youth man getting rebel. There's some fellas that walk in the prison, teaching people to drive by the license. When you want them for something, man, they think they'll tell you. I want to ball. Sometimes I feel to cry. Then I wonder why. Think about it, I will check you tomorrow. Think about it,